Famous Quotes: The Pearl by John Steinbeck. Welcome to my channel, welcome to Things for Thought. Today I'll be diving into the powerful world of John Steinbeck's The Pearl. In this video I'll be exploring some of the most memorable quotes from this classic novella, bringing to light the profound wisdom and timeless lessons embedded in Steinbeck's words. Before I delve into the quotes, I'll be starting with a brief introduction to the author himself. John Steinbeck, a Nobel Prize-winning writer, is celebrated for his vivid storytelling and deep exploration of social issues. His works often reflect his keen insight into human nature and society, making him one of the most influential authors of the 20th century. He is also my favorite author. I'll also touch on the major themes of The Pearl, a tale of ambition, greed, and the quest for a better life. Set in a small fishing village, the story follows Kino and his family as they discover a magnificent pearl that promises to change their fortunes forever. However, as the story unfolds, we see how their dreams are challenged by the dark aspects of human nature and societal pressures. Join me as we explore the best quotes from The Pearl and unravel the depth of Steinbeck's literary genius. Let's get started. Now let's meet the protagonist himself, the Honorable John Steinbeck, who was born in 1902 and died in 1968, only 66 years old. He was born in Salinas, California, a region that would later become the setting for many of his works. His father was a county treasurer and his mother was a school teacher. Growing up in the fertile Salinas Valley, Steinbeck developed an early appreciation for the natural world and a deep empathy for the working class, themes that would permeate his writing. Steinbeck attended Stanford University on and off between 1919 and 1925, but he never graduated. He took courses in literature and writing, but his primary education came from life experiences. To support himself, he worked various jobs, including as a laborer and journalist. His early struggles and exposure to diverse social issues profoundly influenced his perspective and writing style. Steinbeck's literary career began in the late 1920s. His first novel, Cup of Gold, was published in 1929 but received little attention. It wasn't until the 1930s, with works like Tortilla Flat from 1935, that he gained significant recognition. This novel, which humorously depicted the lives of paisanos, mixed-race Spanish-Americans in Monterey, won the California Commonwealth Club's gold medal for Best Novel by a Californian. Steinbeck's most pivotal novels include Of Mice and Men from 1937. This novella explores the dreams and hardships of two displaced ranch workers in California. It was both critically acclaimed and controversial due to its themes and language. The Grapes of Wrath from 1939. Perhaps his most famous work, this Pulitzer Prize-winning novel depicts the plight of Dust Bowl migrants. It highlighted the harsh realities of economic disparity and was instrumental in bringing attention to the struggles of the working poor. East of Eden from 1952, an epic novel that covers several generations of two families in the Salinas Valley. It is often considered Steinbeck's most ambitious and complex work, addressing themes of good and evil. Steinbeck continued to write throughout the 1940s and 1950s, producing a variety of works including fiction, non-fiction, and travel writing. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1962 for his realistic and imaginative writings, combining as they do sympathetic humor and keen social perception. He passed away in 1968 in New York City, but his works have continued to influence and inspire generations of readers and writers. Some fun facts about John Steinbeck: real-life inspiration. Many of Steinbeck's characters were inspired by real people he met throughout his life. For instance, the character of Doc in Cannery Row is based on his friend Ed Ricketts, a marine biologist. Film adaptations. Several of Steinbeck's novels have been adapted into successful films, including The Grapes of Wrath from 1940, directed by John Ford, and Of Mice and Men from 1992, starring John Malkovich and Gary Sinise. Political engagement. Steinbeck was actively involved in political issues and used his writing to address social injustices. His work, The Grapes of Wrath, was banned and burned in some areas due to its controversial content. Nobel Prize controversy. When Steinbeck was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature, some critics argued that his best works were behind him. However, the Swedish Academy recognized his enduring influence and ability to blend humor with social commentary. Traveler. Steinbeck was an avid traveler. His book Travels with Charlie in Search of America from 1962 chronicles his road trip across the United States with his poodle, Charlie, providing a reflective look at American life in the 1960s. In a humble coastal village in Mexico, a poor pearl diver named Kino lives a simple life with his beloved wife Juana and the infant son Coyotito. Their existence is filled with love, but also marred by the hardships of poverty. One day, Coyotito is stung by a scorpion, and with no money to pay for medical treatment, Kino and Juana are desperate to save their child. As fate would have it, Kino dives into the sea and discovers an enormous luminous pearl, the pearl of the world. This discovery fills him with dreams of a better future, an education for Coyotito, a proper marriage in the church, and new clothes and a rifle for himself. The pearl promises to transform their lives, but it also stirs envy and greed in the hearts of those around them. News of the pearl spreads quickly, and the once friendly villagers begin to show their darker sides. The local doctor, who had previously refused to treat Coyotito, now eagerly offers his services. The village priest dreams of church renovations funded by Kino's newfound wealth. Kino's simple home becomes a target for thieves, and he finds himself increasingly consumed by suspicion and fear. As Kino struggles to protect his family and the pearl, the once bright promise turns into a dark curse. Juana, sensing the evil brought by the pearl, pleads with Kino to throw it back into the sea. However, Kino, blinded by his dreams and pride, refuses to let go. His obsession leads to violent confrontations, ultimately resulting in tragedy. In a climactic and heartbreaking finale, Kino and Juana flee to the mountains, hoping to escape the malicious forces closing in on them. Yet tragedy strikes again when Coyotito is killed by a stray bullet during a final confrontation with pursuers. Grief-stricken and shattered, Kino and Juana return to their village. In the end, Kino realizes the true cost of his dreams and the pearl's false promises. With heavy hearts, he and Juana walk to the shore, and in a moment of cathartic release, Kino hurls the pearl back into the ocean, letting it sink into the depths from which it came. The pearl explores the destructive nature of greed, and the illusion of the American dream through the story of Kino. The pearl brings only misfortune, exposing the corrupting power of wealth and the social injustices faced by the poor. The narrative illustrates how Kino's pursuit of material success leads to violence, alienation, and tragedy, ultimately questioning the true cost of human desires and the inescapability of fate. Through these themes, Steinbeck critiques the societal systems that exploit and oppress, while emphasizing the importance of family and community. If you enjoy words of wisdom and quotes, don't forget to like, to share, and to comment. Make sure to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on my latest inspirations. I will be reading 15 quotes from the Pearl. Each quote offers valuable lessons and insights that we can all learn from. So let's dive in and discover the wisdom within this literary classic. Let's get started. Luck, you see, brings bitter friends. My son will read and open the books, and my son will write and will know writing, and my son will make numbers, and these things will make us free, because he will know. He will know, and through him we will know. But now, by saying what his future was going to be like, he had created it. A plan is a real thing, and things projected are experienced. A plan once made and visualized becomes a reality along with other realities, never to be destroyed, but easily to be attacked. But the pearls were accidents, and the finding of one was luck, a little pat on the back by God, or the gods, or both. It is not good to want a thing too much. It sometimes drives the luck away. You must want it just enough. The people say that the two seemed to be removed from human experience, that they had gone through pain and had come out on the other side, that there was almost a magical protection about them. All of the time, Juana had been trying to rescue something of the old peace, of the time before the pearl, but now it was gone, and there was no retrieving it. And knowing this, she abandoned the past instantly. For it is said that humans are never satisfied, that you give them one thing, and they want something more. And this is said in disparagement, whereas it is one of the greatest talents the species has, and one that has made it superior to animals that are satisfied with what they have. Who do you fear? Kino searched for a true answer, and at last he said, everyone. He had said, I am a man, and that meant certain things to Juana. It meant that he was half insane and half God. It meant that Kino would drive his strength against the mountain and plunge his strength against the sea. Juana, in her woman's soul, knew that the mountain would stand while the man broke himself, that the sea would surge while the man drowned in it. And yet, it was this thing that made him a man, half insane and half God, and Juana had need of a man. She could not live without a man. For every man in the world functions to the best of his ability, and no one does less than his best, no matter what he may think about it. Kino knew this also, that the gods do not love man's plans, and the gods do not love success unless it comes by accident. He knew that the gods take their revenge on a man if he is successful through his own efforts. And as with all retold tales that are in people's hearts, there are only good and bad things, and black and white things, and good and evil things, and no in between anywhere. To determine to go and to say it was to be halfway there. And because they were in some way one thing and one purpose, she smiled with him, and they began this day with hope.